right, hey guys, welcome back to Crypto. It is January 8th, 2025. In today's content, I will go for the BTC yearly outlook, the quarterly outlook, and all that good stuff. Basically, the quarterly outlook, right? But it is going to be the first video of the year, so we'll talk about BTC on a macro basis and all that good stuff, right? So when we take a look at BTC on a monthly basis, first thing first, we can notice like we way above the monthly 21 EMA, and what we said even during our bear market is like as long as we above our monthly 21 EMA, right, we're going to be in a bull market, right? Reason why we basically were extremely bullish when BTC was around like 20k to 15k area. We said we're 50% below the monthly 21 EMA, so we got to anticipate a move back up above the monthly 21 EMA and could be trending much higher above the monthly 21 EMA. As of now, we're nearly 50% above the monthly 21 EMA, and if you recall, we started to buy when BTC was around like a 50% below the monthly 21 EMA. So you might be saying like, since like we 50% above the monthly 21 EMA, we could be tapping. That is not a linear, we can't be looking at the market like that just because we were, we were 50% below the monthly 200 EMA, we bottom, now we're 50% above the monthly 200 EMA, we're tapping. So it doesn't work that way, okay? So even though we just printed a spinning top on a monthly basis, most people basically came out to be extremely bearish. However, price action push back up and retest nearly over 100k and all that good stuff. So we've seen this pattern on a bi-monthly cycle, right? And it kept us moving sideways for like a 6 to 7 months. Started like since March 2024 up to basically September, October 2024 and all that good stuff, right? So there is a possibility, okay, BTC going to be moving sideways for the next like a couple of months if we do not break out above 108 110 area. And we will take a look at it on a 3D basis, because the 3D basis is basically giving us some sort of indication in terms of the correction phase and all that good stuff, right? So in terms of indicators, the first indicators we're going to be talking about, it is the monthly MACD. So the monthly MACD is not going to give us any sign of any useful information as of now, because it is extremely bullish, right? And we just have to stay with the trend. However, back in 2023 2024, what we said was like, you don't want to basically rely on your MACD because it is a very lagging indicator. By the time you basically flip bullish on the MACD, based on the MACD, price action could be 100% from the bottom. And that's exactly what we've seen back in 2022, 2024, right? We bottomed somewhere around like a 15K and we pump nearly, 100%, right? Just to get back above the monthly 21 EMA before, getting a positive MACD. So the MACD, it is not a useful tool, right? On a macro basis, right? So depending on how you want to look at it, right? So it is useful, but you don't want to basically base too much of your analysis, waiting for the MACD to flip negative, because by the time the MACD flips negative, price action could be somewhere around like a 50K. So that's similar to what happened right here. By the time the MACD flipped positive, price action was already above 30K, right? So in terms of RSI, one thing we're looking at in terms of the RSI, it is the RSI being above 73. As long as we can stay above the 73 RSI right here, we could be getting some very explosive move over the next like a few months, right? So RSI, it is not overbought. It is somewhere around like a 75. Above 73, that's when you want to be extremely bullish and be waiting for some very some very crazy moves to the upside, right? So now let's take a look at BTC on the bi-monthly. So on a bi-monthly, we're still looking pretty good. We broke out nearly 33% between November and December. Even though December was a little bit boring, most of the moves, right, came in November. So that's why we did not get a big move in December. So the bi-monthly, it is still looking good. Most people started to print a divergence back in 2024 after the spinning top. But what we said was like, hey, do not, you don't want to basically be printing a divergence too early, because you just don't know how high your MACD going to be pushing higher, because at that time MACD was still positive. So as long as your MACD is positive, you don't want to be printing a divergence. Similarly, in terms of RSI, they started to do something like that. We said it is not a divergence. Okay, so technically you could say it is a divergence just because RSI was lower. However, because price action was making some consolidation near all-time high, so it makes sense. Okay, you get a divergence. However, you don't want to basically rely too much on these divergences because they could easily get you wrecked. Okay, if you basically short the market right here and waiting for like a 30k and all that good stuff, right? So now let's take a look at BTC on a quarterly basis. On a quarterly, we're looking pretty good. The last quarter we pumped nearly 50%, right? If you've been following our channel, right, and you followed our few analysis before the breakout, we said like by October 27th, right, 2024, we could be starting to break out to the upside. Why? Because the 50-day cycle was going to open right at October 27th, and that's how we basically got the big move to the upside. So based on the 50-day cycle, we pumped like 55% between October 27th up to basically December 15th. Okay, we discussed it previously, right, when the 50-day cycle was breaking out, and you can see like we picked right at December 16th, December 17th. It is usual for BTC to pick sometime in mid-December, just because the 50-day cycle closes right at December 15th, December 16th, right? So we're just consolidating on a quarterly basis as of now. The likelihood to wipe out the anti-gains right, we had in Q4, right, to wipe it out in Q3 going to be extremely low. So on a quarterly basis, I'm still going to be bullish regardless of the volatility. We're going to be printing around this area in between like a 100k to 90k area, or it could even drop down to the weekly 21 EMA and still be in a correction phase, and at the same time still be in a macro bullish uptrend. We've seen it right here, Q2 2024. Most people were extremely bearish, and BTC was only down like a 12% on a quarterly basis, right? So compared to like the previous quarter, the Q1 2024, it pumped 68%. So could we still be in this range for the entire quarter and drop something like, let's say, 8 to 12% potentially, right? If we drop 8 to 10% below the quarterly open, it'll take us somewhere around like a 83, give or take, okay, depending on which exchange you are looking at. And as of now, the weekly 21 EMA is right around like 83. I'm not saying we will drop down to those lows. All I'm saying is, if you take a look at the quarterly basis, even if it drops down to the 80Ks area, it is still going to be in a bull trend, because we're still going to be within like a 50% of the previous body candle on a quarterly basis, right? One thing we just don't want to do is like wipe out the entire gains of the last quarter, which is basically Q4 2020 2024 and all that good stuff, right? So now let's take a look at BTC on a weekly basis. So if we take a look at BTC on a weekly basis, as we just discussed, right, the weekly 21 EMA, it is somewhere around like a 83. So so most likely going to be trending higher, but we don't know what type of a correction phase we're going to get within this range, or even down to the weekly 21. So we'll just be patient and keep an eye on the 90k to a 94k zone, right? As of now, BTC, it is exactly at 94k, and if it drops lower, it could drop as low as the weekly 21 EMA. Okay, the weekly MACD, it is still positive. Now let's take a look at it on a 3D basis. So on the 3D, as long as we maintaining a negative momentum on the 3D MACD, we're most likely not going to be breaking out anytime soon, right, above the 108 area. So we will need a positive 3D MACD within the next like a few days. As of now, we just hit the 3D 21 EMA right at 92. Let's see, 92 and a half, right? However, it doesn't necessarily mean like we're going to be bouncing back up and push to the upside and take out the 108. Why? Because the MACD right here is negative. So we're going to need a very strong move, right? A substantial move above the 100K zone to force the MACD to flip back positive. Or one thing we could get is like we could print either, you know, a descending triangular formation, right, in this area, or we could even print a zigzag formation within this range. Okay, so just, you know, bulls, they just need to be patient within this range and just understand like, hey, as long as our MACD is negative, right, we're going to be in a correction phase. There is nothing wrong being in a correction phase. We did, you know, print a 9-month correction phase, and we've been patient throughout the correction phase and basically accumulated between you know, 70K all the way down to 50K, and you know, basically market pushed back up to the you know, 105 to a 95K target, which is what we were looking for back then when BTC was around the you know, 60 to a 70K's area. Okay, so just a correction phase on the low degree. I don't know how long it'll last, but it could go all the way up to the last week of January, or even like a, you know, in early February, okay, before a potential breakout, if we do not get some big volume to take out the 100K in the short to medium term, right? So support on the weekly down to the 3D basis going to be 90, you know, 94 to a 90K, and basically as low as the weekly 21 EMA and all that good stuff. So I'm just gonna cut it short, right? That's what I'm gonna be looking for throughout the quarterly time frame, right? I know it is not a short term outlook, but we will see if we're going to find the support right here, because our next macro target still remain the you know, 180K zone, right, within the next like a few months and all that good stuff. All right guys, thanks a lot for watching.